Have you ever been in a situation whereby you are the fortunate one in your family members, okay? Meaning, like, you're in a situation whereby at least we can say, hey, you're the guy who is a little bit lucky when it comes to finance and what have you. And then you have two sets of your family, meaning there is a family that you left, meaning where you came from, your mother, your father, your siblings, your aunties, your uncles, and what have you. And then you have the family that you created, your wife and your kids, the nuclear family. And then you're torn in between, you catering for both families. The family that you created is looking after you, and the family that you left is also looking after you because, hey, come on, your elder sister or elder brother, you're the fortunate one. I mean, you should supposedly get us out of this ditch. And then you've been trying the much as you can. They milk you, they drain you, they do the best they can to make sure that at least they have their money in their pockets, meaning from your pocket. Then you end up being dry to a point whereby you can't even cater for yourself. You're in a situation whereby you can't even save a dime in the name of I'm helping my brothers. Now, welcome to Africa. That's the character that we usually see in this continent, whereby you find there's something called the generational poverty, whereby you find like whoever gets fortunate, whoever gets at least to have a one step ahead so that at least they can get themselves out of things, everyone pulls them back to that ditch. Now, that is the character that is being found out there. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you what exactly that you're supposed to do so that at least you do not get yourself into that. And remember one thing, I am not saying creating a difference between the two of you, the family that you left, the family that you have, and yourself, okay? Now, let's get into the business. What exactly are you supposed to do so that you don't get yourself into this problem? Because if I tell you the number of calls that I usually receive from these guys, especially the guys who are working from outside the country, you will get shocked. Fine. Point number one, chip in only when it is necessary. You're supposed to chip in when it is necessary. I gave an example last time and I told you guys, well, the day that you'll open a door when they can even call you for the 200 shilling problem, 50 shillings, 150, 300 Kenyan shillings problem. Someone calls you and tells you, hey, we were looking forward into buying some books for my kids and whatever. Would you mind giving me like 200 shillings? And then you think like, okay, fine, that's a small amount of money. I can just sacrifice my ice cream and whatever. You just send them. The moment you open that door, you're going to get yourself into lots of problems. Why? I would rather be called when it's a sort of a serious problem, when it's a substantive help, when you can only, or you can argue and say, hey, to be sincere, if this one actually needs help, at that particular point, they will actually have the character of calling you whenever it is necessary. And also learn to chip in when you know it is necessary. Don't just chip in at any given moment. Because honestly speaking, it doesn't make any sense me sending that 200, 300, which I could have saved maybe in a money market fund. I make some cash, I invest, I create a good portfolio whereby you, instead of asking for the 200 shillings, you can come on board. For example, if I tell you, hey, I'm trying to save to start a business to employ you, you know, I would rather, you'd rather deny them a little bit of, in a certain period of time, you get the enough money, you start a business, you bring them on board, you employ them, and then from there they can be able to stand by themselves. That's the case. Because even if I share what I have on my hands, then I won't be able to start a business, then I won't be able to cater for myself, then I won't be able to cater for you. So all of us are just getting ourselves into lots of problems. So learn to chip in only when it is necessary of you. Number two, avoid having easily accessible money. You know, the reason as to why maybe you receive a call or a text and then the next minute you send a money is because, yes, they have the emotional attachment because, hey, these are your family members. They are wonderful people. You should love them. You should help them. But now the point is this. After now being emotional, now you come being logical. Fine. Okay, fine. I'm now being emotional. Now I need to help them. Now, where will I get the money? What if you finish being emotional? Now you come to the logical part of it, okay, then I have to send money. But I don't have the money accessible. I don't have the accessibility of the money as of now. So it is good when you actually avoid having what we call easily accessible money. Have your cash into the investments, have your cash into the fixed account, have your cash into some areas, and leave yourself behind. And always tell people, well, obviously I'm not saying like you fix everything. You also need some cash for the sake of your life. What I can advise you to do is that at least leave that amount of money that you know, hey, It can also cater for my emergency. Emergency cannot only come from, let's say, your family members. It can also come from, from your case and from your nuclear family and whatever, if you have any, or maybe let's say just from the sake of you. So it's always good to leave a certain percentage of income towards that specific thing. All right. So it's always good to make sure that at least avoid easily accessible money for the sake of your life. Okay. The other one, that's point number C. Show them how to fish. And I've included, if applicable, because this case is not applicable, I do have several guys who told me like, hey, guess what, I did send back home like over $2,000, that's like 300 and something thousand. I told them to start a business and they be able to cater for themselves, and they run that business, they hold it dear, but guess what, Joseph, they squandered everything. They do not have the business in existence, they do not have the money, they are back to where they used to ask me for money each and every time. And I gave you a very simple example. See, when you help somebody the first time, they are very grateful. The second time, the same. The third time, by the time you're doing so, the eighth time, these guys, they have already, attached you helping them as their right is no longer your will. That's the problem with human beings. That's how they are, all right? So the point is this. If it is applicable, you can actually get a little bit of cash. Go invest for them. They can be able to run that business. They can be able to cater for themselves. Sometimes someone calls me and asks me, hey, Joseph, do you think is important, rather than me giving them some money, but just get some good amount of money, I send them, they start a business, they cater for themselves. Sometimes it's not applicable. I know deep inside of you, you would love them to be stable because they are your family members. They are wonderful people. But are they the characters of people who can be able to run a business? If that little amount of money that you send them to cater for themselves, you tell them, hey, guess what? I'll be giving you 10,000 each and every month to cater for yourself. And the top-ups, if you'll be needing any, do it by yourself. They still come back to you and ask you, then ask yourself, if you want to start a business for them worth 300,000, 400,000, will they be able to run that business? And if the question is yes, they can be able to do so, then do so immediately. You'd rather fork out that a good amount of money, start them an venture, and then let them be. And if you realize they cannot be able to do that, then I think you'd rather connect me with them so that I talk to them about money investments and businesses and what have you before you even start them a business. And I always tell the people, don't feel pinch of you paying a financial advisor to help you start a business, rather than assuming and believing that you can do it by yourself and then the next minute everything goes wrong. Okay? Point is, talk to them if they are not the business oriented, and if they are, start them an investment. That way will help you actually go ahead and save a little bit for the sake of your life. And the D, or the part number 4, be unpredictable and play what we call the reverse psychology. Let me start with the be unpredictable. Don't be this kind of an individual who everyone knows when you get paid. Hey, you know what, Joseph usually get paid at second. So at second, Joseph have money. If you can give them a call, they'll be able to help you. Or you tell them, hey, guess what, I'll receive my salary on 5th. So you just hang on there, and then immediately after 5th, then so you've told them when you get paid. And others even tell them how much you get paid. You see, right now, my brother, I'm getting 200K at the end of the month. So you see, I cannot. Never ever share that. Never ever share when you get paid. Let them guess. Never share when you get paid, and never share how much you get paid, because they will always be sitting down with pen and paper. Let's say Joseph pays like 10,000 rent, he does this, and he getting paid 200,000. Where is the rest? So even if I ask him 20,000, then he can be able to afford to give me. That's what they do. So the point is, avoid sharing that information when you how much you get paid and when you get paid. Let just be a mysterious thing. Now that's the unpredictable part. The reverse psychology, sometimes this is what I could do. If I realize you usually disturb me whenever these people who usually call you like almost every time, a week cannot finish without them giving you a call, or 2 weeks cannot finish without them giving you a call. This is what you do. When you know they are close to giving you a call, give them a call and ask them, hey, I'm telling you, it's very tough here. I don't know what we can even do. Actually, there was some money I was looking forward into getting, but I don't know what. See what you've done. You've just countered their effect. So maybe let's say they were thinking of calling you to ask for some money. Now you've called them, telling them that, hey, guess what? I don't know what I can even do. I'm really having a very tough time. I don't know what I can be able to do. I'm thinking of getting some money. No. So they have already known that you don't have money. So if they were to call you next time, maybe let's say tomorrow morning, they won't call you because you called them yesterday and told them that you do not have money. That's what you do. Sometimes if you're in Kenya, you can tell them, hey, guess what? Before you know they're about to call you, you call them, tell them, hey, I don't know. Unaweza kuwa na 300 shillings hapo or 500 shillings. Can you lend me some? You see, this, you have to be smart. You have to be smart. You play what we call the reverse psychology. You reverse psychology them. And then by the time goes, they realize, hey, this guy is trying to do this to counter us and all those kind of things, and they're able to withdraw and all those factors. Because let me tell you one thing, it's a very nasty game, it's a very nasty thing if you just become, too soft for that and all those kind of things. So it is good to incorporate that. Otherwise, if you don't, you can get yourself into lots of problem. All right. So, but that one you have to use it not to manipulate people negatively, but to use it for the sake of you and for the sake of you saving some a little bit of money for the sake of your future and also for the sake of them. Sometimes they don't understand. We try as much as we can, or people try as much as they can to, to appear mean or whoever they're gonna call you, so that at least you can invest. You see, you can't be able to help people if you're not stable yourself. So once you're stable, then you can be able to as well help them comfortably to a point whereby now they can be able to sustain their lives. Sometimes they don't miss that, but we steal them. They're amazing people. All right, let's go to the last one. Avoid being too good and kind. Guess what? When you become, excessively kind, then you're gonna get yourself, because you see this world, and I don't know what happens, because if you're kind, people should actually respect you, not take advantage of you. But the moment they realize that you are kind, you are good, you are loving, they tend to take advantage of that. We say that they take your kindness for weakness. So even if you know deep inside of you you are kind, sometimes it's good to, a little bit play hard and also be a little bit rough and something of sort. Because when you become too kind to people, then they are likely to take you for an advantage. And in the process, by the time you realize you've gotten yourself into a nasty situation, you can't get yourself out of. To salvage yourself out of the situation is a little bit hard as you progress to the next level. Now, the point is this: all those are 5 points that you can suppose to incorporate. There are some others. This does not mean like it's the only ultimate thing that you're supposed to do. There are some other things that you can pull, in accordance to the situation that you are in. I always tell people, you're supposed to use that what actually works for you, because some points here may work for some people, others may not work for some people. So always pick that what works for you, incorporate it, assimilate it, and contextualize it, so that at least you can progress on that manner. Anyway, guess what, guys? That marks the end of my video, but not the end of me posting a video each and every day. So if you don't want to miss any of my good videos in the future, do this. And I have to remind you this, because I know you are like, okay, fine, what's the importance of me subscribing? This is the importance. You don't miss any of my good videos in the future. All right, down below, if you're on your right, there is a small button written subscribe. Hit that magical button, turn that notification bell, and like this video. It's free. Just like this video. All right, and comment down below, tell me what you think. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.